I started this script early 2022, so I'm sorry it came out so late. I could make all these excuses like I'm trying to get into college, hold a stable job, and just genuinely trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life, but the truth is, that would be a lie. And the reason I haven't uploaded a lot recently is because I've been feeling bleh. When I'm feeling bleh, one might seek therapy, maybe even dream therapy. Bad segue out of the way. Today I'm going to be talking about a perspective-based puzzle game released in 2019, also known as Superliminal. Based off random Google searches, a good game should have up-to-date or polished graphics, gameplay that is challenging and enjoyable, and an interesting or well-crafted story. Obviously this isn't true for all games, but I'm going to be using these to judge Superliminal. Spoiler warning. Even though this game is kind of old, this video does contain spoilers. Please, if you haven't played or watched through Superliminal, save this video for later and do so now. Out of all the points, I personally think that the look of the game matters the least. As we've seen before, games don't need to be ultra realistic to be considered good games. But in the case of Superliminal, the graphics are used to their fullest potential, going from a hotel apartment thing to a science lab to some scary back rooms, and then ending in a place of pure perspective. Needless to say, I really enjoy liminal space, and Superliminal captures that perfectly for me. Games that look very similar in style and graphics are both the Stanley Parable games and the Portal series. I will say my favorite area of the game was the surreal black and white rooms near the end, and I don't think the soundtrack is under graphics, but oh boy does it add to the atmosphere and really set the scene. That's pretty much all I have to say about the graphics, so on to... The gameplay is obviously the most important part of a game. Having a fun and interactive game mechanic can help a game stick out more. Superliminal probably has one of the most creative and fun mechanics you will ever experience. Being a perspective-based puzzle game where simple things like grabbing an apple can change its placement or its size based off how you see or move it. But the environments also heavily add to the gameplay as well, having portal doors and paintings that can be lined up to make objects. Some of the puzzles genuinely took me like 30 minutes or so to figure out. Also, there are some secret items you can find hidden around some of the puzzle rooms. And while I know it would be incredibly difficult, I would love to see a VR version of this game, or just something even remotely similar. It would honestly make my world. I would love to try and experience something like that, even though my computer would definitely explode. My only negative for the gameplay would be it kind of stalls out mid-game during the horror bits, but it picks up back towards the end. And my last thing to say is that I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear that alarm clock in my dreams. I'm going to break down the story real quick and then talk about it after. As a character, we're not given a name, and we're just referred to as you. Most likely in a way to have the player feel more involved, like you are personally taking the therapy. Just you, Dr. Glenn Pierce, and an AI that thinks you're stupid and wants you to leave. In the story, you are going through dream therapy, where perspective can be bent and broken, but when you try to leave, the AI informs you that you are stuck in there until your brain is overloaded and tries to wake itself up. So as you continue to mess with perspective, it starts to break the dream to the point it temporarily becomes a nightmare, and then back into a dream, ending with just pure perspective. While exploring the void, Dr. Glenn Pierce continues to give off inspiring thoughts and positive outlooks. After pushing perspective to its furthest limit, we are informed that everything went exactly as planned. And after taking us back through the entire game while Dr. Glenn Pierce says really inspiring and uplifting statements, you get to finally wake up. Now I will say the story is not majorly pushed on you, and some players might not even listen to it, but luckily I did, and I'm so glad I chose to. Don't get me wrong, even if you don't pay attention to the story, the game mechanic alone is fun enough. But some of the things Dr. Glenn Pierce said actually made me feel a lot better, and it even inspired me to start uploading more gaming content. Personally, I not only think the story is charming and wholesome, but even sometimes funny with how it presents itself. This is obviously just a very broken down summary of the story, and my thoughts are in a way of trying not to, I guess, give away absolutely everything. You guys should definitely play it on your own if you haven't. Just because I've went through and kind of told you everything, It does mess it up a little bit, but I promise you it's still just as good as an experience, and you should check it out anyways. In conclusion, I really enjoyed this game, and while I know a lot of YouTubers and streamers have already played the game, I like to think it deserves a little more attention and love. I really hope you mates enjoyed my review of this game, and if you did, please leave a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, expect an animation pretty soon, but expect a gaming video first. Also, I plan to record a Puss in Boots 2 review. Oh my god, was that such a good movie. Like, oh my god. Expect a review soon. Hope you have a nice day, because you know I will. Later.